Hello friends, welcome back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. So tonight is the beginning of Passover. It starts at sunset, and I'm actually getting ready to start my brisket. I have a brisket here that I got from a farmer here in the area when we got our half cow. And so this is what's going to be for dinner tonight. I've actually shared the recipe before in a video somewhere. I have a dry rub that I do, and then I slow roast it, and I add some broth later on and all of that stuff, and it is just the most delicious fall apart tender brisket ever. So if you were interested in this, I will put a link in the video description to that recipe. But before I go any further, I do want to apologize for not doing the Saturday scripture reading like I usually do. To be honest, I fell asleep. So on Saturday mornings, you know, that is Shabbat, and I have no alarm that goes off. I just wake up when I wake up, and I get up, I take the dogs out, make myself a cup of coffee, sit down with the scriptures, just kind of relax, and then I watch a service online. And this weekend, I don't think I made it 5 minutes into the music and I was out. I completely slept through the entire service. I slept through doing scriptures. Didn't even think of it when I woke up. I think it was still, I was still kind of making up for being really sick. You know, my energy was still really low. I'm doing way better now. I'm feeling more like myself. My voice is still a little bit off, but I'm good now. But I did want to apologize. I'm sure there was probably some people waiting. You know, where's Constance? Why isn't she doing her scripture videos? I totally fell asleep. But yesterday we had the Azure standard pickup. So every month I kind of get different things. It's just depending upon whatever I'm needing, whatever I'm wanting to stock up on. And this month I restocked our pantry with coffee filters. We had completely run out, and I have these ones that I like to use, and so Azure standard carries them, and so I ordered 3 boxes of those. I got a big old pack of vanilla beans so I can start some more vanilla extract. My son is experimenting with growing different varieties of mushrooms, and so I got a bag of rye for him because apparently rye is really good for growing mushrooms. I got a bag of sucanat, and there's a sweet couple that I have met several times now. I actually met them the first time in Oklahoma, and I have seen them a few times at the Azure Standard pickup, and they had gotten an extra thing of dates and gave me a container of medjool dates. So that was very sweet of them to gift me those. I got a bottle of sunflower lecithin. This is a bread baking ingredient. I got 25 pounds of all-purpose unbleached flour. I got another bag of their bread flour, which I have to tell you guys, when it comes to pre-ground, you know, bought bread flour, their bread flour is the best bread flour I have ever used. It is phenomenal. As a matter of fact, Azure Standard just put out a video that explains the process of how they mill their flours and why their flour is different than basically everybody else's. I will try and find that video and put a link to that in the video description for you. I picked up a bag of einkorn, and then I ordered some more of the supplements that I have been taking. It's their cod liver oil, and then another bottle of their food-based multivitamin. And then I got 2 more boxes of jars. I actually picked up my first box of the Azure Standard brand jars. I got some of their half-gallon jars because I love storing all of my pantry goods in jars, just because, like I've talked about a million times before, watertight, airtight, and you can see exactly how much you have at a glance and know exactly what's in it for the most part. So I picked up some of those, and then some more of their gallon-sized jars. So the other thing that I did yesterday is I made my first batch of homemade soft matzah for Passover this year. Now that is a recipe that I actually just published on my website this morning. So if you follow me on social media, you may have already seen it. But I mentioned in that post that I would be sharing the making of that matzah in this video. And so I'm going to share that with you right here. Now I explain in the blog post that matzah is very simply unleavened bread. And the word matzah could be spelled different ways depending upon the culture where you're reading it. The boxes of it that you buy at the store spell it one way. The Bible spells it another way. But no matter the spelling, it's matzah. And breaking that down even finer, it is a bread that does not have yeast in it. But some people will say it is a bread that has no leavening whatsoever. No baking soda, no baking powder, no yeast. Now, of course, the boxed matzah that you pick up at the grocery store is a lot like a giant saltine cracker. It's crunchy, it's dry. You can find flavored ones here and there. But depending upon where you live, you may not be able to find matzah. I will tell you, I have not seen matzah in any grocery store that I have been in here in Arkansas up to this point. I have been looking for it. I've done searches online. I can't find it. Thankfully, yeah, I am, of course, able to order it through Amazon, believe it or not. They have all different varieties, and I do have some of that because it's nice to have. Going through an entire week of unleavened bread and not consuming anything with leavening, you maybe want a little bit of a variety. And so a tender, buttery soft, homemade matzah would be right up your alley. And it only takes 4 ingredients. 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I always use organic unbleached. A teaspoon of kosher salt. You could also use sea salt or Redmond real salt if you want. A half a cup of room temperature butter. And a half a cup of very warm water. You're going to mix those together in your mixing bowl. Using the dough hook is the easiest way to do it. Let it run until the dough comes together. Shape it into a ball and let it rest on the counter for 10 to 15 minutes. After its rest, you go ahead and you cut it into portions, and you can do 8 to 10 depending upon how big you want to make them. You're going to take a portion, roll it into a ball, and then roll it out on a lightly floured surface into as thin of a circle as you can get. and you're going to drop it onto a medium hot, unoiled cast iron skillet or griddle. And you're going to cook it for about a minute to a minute and a half on each side until it puffs up and it has golden brown spots on it. And that is it. You just repeat that process with all of the dough. Now you can serve this matzah hot, or you can cool it on a cooling rack and then store it in an airtight container or a Ziploc bag until you want to use it. This soft matzah is absolutely delicious, and of course you can get the printable version of the recipe on my website, cosmopolitancornbread.com, and I will put a link to that in the video description down below. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I've got lots of cooking to do, lots of prep for Passover dinner. I am going to get my brisket going in the oven. I have a matzah tiramisu that I'm going to be making, and that needs time to chill in the refrigerator to soften up. It is made out of the traditional crispy matzah crackers, and I've got the harrow set to make and things like that. So if you are celebrating Passover, I hope you have a wonderful holiday. And if you keep unleavened bread, I've got a couple of great recipes for using up matzah, including matzah crack, also known as matzah bark or matzah candy. I've got a matzah and cheese. It's basically a layered macaroni and cheese lasagna sort of recipe, as well as personal matzah pizzas. And you can find all of those on my website. Thanks for spending some time with me here in the kitchen. I've got to get to work. My name is Constance from Cosmopolitan Cornbread, and I'll talk to y'all next time.